it's time to talk about something I care a lot about. I've been making games for a while now, about 13 years in total, and despite taking a pretty long hiatus from game dev at one point, I've still managed to make lots of games, which is great. The fact I've managed to teach myself how to make games despite having no formal education in anything to do with programming or development is something I'm very proud of. But there's one thing that's always really bothered me. You see, when it comes to game developers, whether it's AAA devs, hobbyists, or solo indie devs, I feel like there's a real disease going around. You see, lots of people that are actually very good at making games in lots of ways still make shitty games. Because while you may be an amazing artist or programmer or both, that still doesn't save you from making something incredibly mediocre or even downright terrible. And the thing is, to gamers, all of this is obvious. If gigantic billion-dollar corporations can pay hundreds of the most qualified people in the world to make something and it still completely suck, then why would anyone else be any different? Despite this obvious fact, the average gamer, that so many games suck, lots of devs seem to go on completely oblivious to this, secretly thinking of themselves as God's gift to game design, a John Carmack in training, or perhaps a marginally less racist notch. But my point is that, not to toot my own horn or anything, despite seemingly everyone else's delusion, I've never felt this. In fact, quite the opposite. I've never suffered any delusions of grandeur. I've always very comfortably and confidently felt that basically every game I've ever worked on is complete and utter garbage. Now, there's a reason why I've been comfortable with this feeling, which is that I don't care what people think. I never learned to make games to get a job or make tons of money. I just thought it would be really cool and fun to make my own game just for the sake of it. And then, once I actually figured out how to make games and realized it was something I can really do, as someone that always loved pouring my heart and soul into creative projects, whether it's music or videos, I found out that making games is the ultimate creative pursuit. I've always loved the process more than anything else, and when any project's over, I'm always sad because I wish it could go on forever. And so to keep chasing that programmer dopamine dragon, I just start a new project, and so the game dev addiction continues. That's why I think I was able to make so many games in such a short period of time. Somewhere between 2013 to 2016, just professionally I worked on approximately 11 different games, most of them to some level of completion, and that doesn't include random side projects or game jams. So that's why I've been able to accept that so many of the games I've worked on are bad, because I do this because I just love doing it. And while as a small child I may have thought it would be cool to be the guy that gets to carefully place objects in front of Raiden's bell end, as an adult I find the idea of working in AAA kind of repulsive. I hate most major corporations with a passion, and being the guy that gets to help Hideo Kojima pick which outlandish pair of Nikes to wear next doesn't really appeal to me. Nor does sleeping under the desk, working insane hours to help Ubisoft release the latest SpamX to do anything boring, buggy, cookie cutter bullshit. Despite all of this, I can't pretend that it doesn't bother me that I never got to make anything I could really be proud of and say I made a good game, instead of just I made a game. Now, making games is hard, way harder than almost anyone realizes. So being proud of making any game is totally a legitimate feeling to have. But that doesn't mean you need to pretend that you're actually making good games. You see, the answer isn't ego and delusion and to keep smelling your own farts. The point is to own every mistake, every bad decision, and learn from it. So that next time you can make something better, and eventually one day, maybe even years later, you might at least stand a chance of making something cool. Which brings me to my final point, which was really supposed to be the only point of making this video. This is why I'm making a game. You see, I've learned a lot from all of the years of suck, and now, doing everything on my own, with no support, no artist, no funding, no nothing, I get to work how I want. on my timetable. Because, well, it's just me. I don't need a budget because I don't care if I have money or not. I'm making this game either way because I feel like it's what I was put here to do. So yeah, I'm making a game. It's called Earth and Heart. It's basically a roguelike village builder / farming sim. Think Dwarf Fortress meets Stardew Valley or Dinkum meets Soul Ash 2. There's no release date, no projected timeline. I'm not using a game engine. It won't be out anytime soon. It won't be early access. I'll charge as little as I can for it. It'll be done when it's done, and hopefully it won't suck.